What if I just never peak? What if I start carrying myself in a way that I'm always learning new things? And you guys know this, I do those 6-week challenges. And the reason I continue to do these 6-week challenges, the first one was that marathon challenge. I wanted to train for 6 weeks and run a marathon. I always told myself that, well, God's designed me to lift weights. I'm supposed to be big and jacked. I'm not a runner. I'm not made to run. I'm 6 foot, 230 pounds. Like, that's not necessarily a long distance runner's physique. And it's so easy to put yourself in a box in so many ways. It's so easy to go, well, I'm over 30 now. I don't have the ambition to go work out. Or I'm over 40 now. I guess I don't have to maintain my hygiene. And that's why you see sloppy people everywhere, right? You don't have to be like that. And so I adopted this mindset early on. I was like, I'm going to live the never peak life. And I talked about it in my book, Man Up. And I said, I ran that 6-week challenge. I trained for 6 weeks, hired a marathon coach, trained for 6 weeks, ran the San Diego Marathon. And I broke through so many limiting beliefs. I broke through so many seals in my life because all of a sudden I was like, bam. I had said I'm not a runner. I'm not conditioned to run. I'm not made to run. I don't have the physique that a runner has, but I was able to train for 6 weeks, like 6 short weeks. And I ran a marathon. Man, I tell you that because the never peak mentality that I talk about in my book is, what can you do to constantly grow? The Japanese have a term called Kaizen. Kaizen means forever improving and evolving to your better version, to your better self. And when you live the never peak lifestyle, you realize that, all right, I'm going to live by my core values. I'm going to be congruent with the man that I say I am. And oh, by the way, I'm going to constantly develop new skills, traits, abilities, etc. Because I don't want to be that guy. I'm currently 49 years old. I don't want to be that guy at 59, 69, 79, 89 to go, yeah, I remember back in my 30s, I could bench this and squat that, but not anymore. Like, all right, I may not be able to fucking rep out 3 plates on a bench. I may not be able to squat out 3 plates on a bench or on a squat rack. But you know what I could do? I could speak 5, 6, 7, 10 different languages when I'm in my late 60s, 70s, and 80s, right? I might have a whole different coaching program where I'm working with just a different level of entrepreneurs. I might be an investor in so many different companies that I've taken equity in and coached them and mentored them, that I might have this mission that's even far greater than the current missions that I'm running with the Squire program, the project, or Shriners Children's Hospital, or Toys for Tots, Compassion International. But I will never peak. That is the attitude. And so I want to share with you guys, how do you adopt this never peak mindset so that you know that, and in my book, by the way, I need to tell you, I say never peak, the best is yet to come. And just because my physical strength might diminish does not mean that my mental capacity can't improve, that my ability to orate, to speak, to deliver a concise message cannot improve. My ability to speak many languages, my ability to connect with an even higher version of myself, my ability to mentor tens of millions of people, because I will have spent decades doing this show. I'll have spent decades doing this show and building it into the system, the machine that forces men to wake up, level up, transcend to their higher self. The best of me is still yet to come. Never peak, the best is yet to come. So how do you do that? If you are living this mindset that the best of you is behind you, that you are now just working for the man and paying your taxes, doing your 9 to 5 and barely getting by, and you've succumbed to mediocrity, and you hope that your kids live a better life than you, well, hope is not a plan, my friend. Hope is simply not a plan. What is a plan is to go, all right, I get it. As a human, I'm adaptable. And this is exactly what ran through my mind. Number one, I was like, I'm adaptable. I was able to train for 6 weeks and run a marathon. Did it hurt? Yes. Was it uncomfortable? Absolutely. Was I sore? Yes, for about a month and a half. Was I massively proud of myself because I broke through so many seals as a husband, as a father, as an entrepreneur, as a man, as a leader? Yeah, you would think that, well, that's a physical experience. How did you become better in all these other categories of life? Because you are connected to other areas of your life. How you do anything is how you do everything. And so improvement in one category of life usually creates improvement and evolution in other areas of your life. Just like if you start sucking in one area of your life, like let's say your marriage is suffering. Let's say that you and your your wife are just two ships passing in the night. Let's say that there is no date nights. Let's say that you guys have no meaningful conversations. Let's say that it almost feels like you guys are roommates hanging out. That marriage is falling apart. Well, I bet I could look into your bank account and see that your bank account is a reflection of your marriage. I bet I can look at your health and see that your body and your mind are a reflection of your poor marriage. I could see how you father your children and see that it is a reflection of your marriage. I could see how you run your business and see that as a reflection of your poor marriage. And so since every area of your life is connected, then doesn't it make sense to live a never peak lifestyle? Listen, I stopped taking all of those and I started taking this, the Keuilian Wellness Shot. In fact, I created this because I was sick and tired of every morning taking 11 different supplements like turmeric, ginger, cayenne pepper, black pepper, vitamin B12, echinacea, vitamin C, zinc, right? Think about this. If you want to improve your immune system, if you want to fight off inflammation in your body so that you have better gut health, you have more energy, your joints don't hurt, then you're going to want to take all those supplements. And I was taking it twice a day, every day. And so when we created the Keuilian Wellness Shot, we cut no corners and we spared no expense. And so in this, you've got something that's going to not only help boost your immune system, but also fight off inflammation. Because if you're a high performer and if you want to get more done, if you want to stay more focused, if you want to make sure that you don't get sick as frequently, then you have to care about your immune system and you have to fight off inflammation, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you're high performing and you have a stressful work day from time to time, right? And so here's what I want you to do. You're going to click on the link in the description box or go to Keuilian.com and you're going to use the code word Bedros. And when you use my name, Bedros, you'll get 50% off your first subscribe and save bundle. For whatever reason you don't like the Keuilian Wellness Shot, which I've yet to meet anyone who doesn't, then let us know in your first 30 days. We'll give you a full refund. Part ways as friends. Fair enough? Go check it out. Use the code word Bedros. Get 50% off. Peace. I will continue to evolve and become the next best, greatest version of myself. And I will do that by learning a new language, learning to dance, learning to play instruments and equipment, learning to do improv. I've taken improv classes because I wanted to become a better storyteller. I wanted to become more comedic in my timing, right? I wanted to get better in front of an audience because I'm an introvert. And I realize what I do, especially when I speak on stage in front of hundreds or thousands of people, that is an extrovert's world. And an introvert taking the stage, I have to flip the switch and go into that headspace that I've been able to develop where I can be an extrovert on stage. It's easier here in the studio. There's just 1, 2, 4 of us in here, right? 5 of us with me. But when I'm on stage and there's thousands, holy cow, that's overwhelming. But guess what? I said I'm going to be a great stage speaker. I'm going to be one of the best stage speakers where people pay me $50,000 for a talk. And so guys, this is my plea to you. This is what I'm asking you to do, is to adopt a never peak mindset. Step number 1 is to realize that you are adaptable and you can constantly grow, evolve, change, and improve. It may not be in the category of fitness, right? Because as we get older, our body breaks down. But for Christ's sake, never be the person who says, my life has peaked, the best of me is behind me, and you're always hand-wringing and talking about the good old times that are back behind you. And ain't nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with talking about, hey, remember when we had that good time doing this in Vegas, et cetera, or having this good time at this picnic or camping. Ain't nothing wrong with recalling good experiences. There's something massively wrong if all you're doing is living in the past and never giving yourself newer, better, more challenging hobbies, experiences, abilities, traits, and skills. Because then you begin to degenerate. And there's something called stagnation and generativity. Now, I want to end on this topic. When a man starts reaching his late 30s, early 40s, he enters a new phase of life. This is psychologically and scientifically proven, and they've created a category for this. This category of life for a man in his late 30s, early 40s, he comes to one of 2 places: stagnation or generativity. Stagnation is when you go, well, I worked, I was an athlete in high school, I went to college and I was great at what I did. I had a job, I had a career, I had businesses, but now my kids are older, they're gone. I don't feel I'm doing anything. I've just living on this hamster wheel, doing the same thing every single day, not really paying it forward. See, a man especially has a need to pay it forward to the next generation ahead of him. And the reason is because that is the only way we can leave a legacy behind, is by sharing with others, right? This is why people want to write books. This is why leaders create statues and monuments to themselves. This is why in any city you might see, MLK Boulevard, right, as a nod to Martin Luther King. You might see Cesar Chavez Highway. You might see, this section of this freeway is dedicated to an old mayor or an old police chief. Like, people want to leave, men especially want to leave a legacy behind. It is in our DNA. And so for you to do that, you must have generativity. You must want to lean into becoming the best version of yourself and constantly reinventing yourself and recreating yourself and developing new hobby skills, traits, abilities, so that you are still interesting to people who are younger than you and who want to get motivated, inspired, and want to learn from you. Or the alternative is stagnation. The best of you is behind you. It's all downhill from here. You're entering your 40s and you're just like, I'm a hamster on a wheel, man. I do the same thing over and over again, pay my taxes, barely eke by. Nothing really excites me. I have to check my pulse every now and again to see if I'm alive. And I just escape from my reality through alcohol and smoking weed and vape. People are shocked when they're like, wait, you don't smoke weed anymore? Nope. You don't drink anymore? Not even occasionally, not every now and again? Nope. I do nothing that is a vice of escape. Yeah, but don't you want to be in a creative headspace when you smoke a joint? I am in the most creative headspace after a great workout and I go walking at Ayala Park and I get that sun on my body and I'm listening to my favorite music. I got the endorphins and the dopamine going. That is when I grab my notepad here for you guys and I start writing ideas for my next episode, for my next talk, for my next business, for my next product, for how I want to coach and mentor my family. I don't need to smoke or drink or snort something in order to get to that higher place. So what about ayahuasca, Bedros? No, I don't want to drink some fucking Peruvian soup that's going to make me throw up all over myself and hallucinate. You can do that, but I don't want to do that. I want to be in a sound state of mind, and I want to use my natural abilities to go to such a high state organically that I could be at the same place that you have to go to chemically. And if you're willing to do that, my friend, then you are going to live a never peak mindset. Never peak, the best is yet to come.